We come to the finale of our story about the special child. Its parents were ecstatic that they could finally calculate its name for any month. Now that we know how to calculate our child's name, why stop with just a monthly name? We could name our child by the hour, minute, second, nanosecond. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, dear. Remember, this all started with the number 7 and increased by 3 each month. Let's take another look at the explicit rule for the child's name. It was 7 plus 3 times n minus 1, where n is the number of months it is old. What happens if we simplify this rule? Let's distribute the 3, multiplying it to the n and the 1, combine like terms, subtracting the 3 from the 7, and then rewriting it with function notation. So now we have f of x equals 3x plus 4, or this guy here, y equals 3x plus 4. And this might look very familiar to many of you. And that brings us to today's lesson about the slope-intercept form of a linear function. We are going to really dig into this linear function. And as you just saw in the intro to this lesson, we can use the arithmetic sequence and its explicit rule to come up with this kind of formula, y equals mx plus b. This should look very familiar to many of you from middle school. It's something that's covered in the 6th and 7th grade. So we're going to talk about slope, y-intercepts, and that basic form. Notice I've got 2 other forms grayed out. I'm putting everything together in these notes because we're going to get to these 2 forms later on, but this is the one we're going to focus on today. I'd like you to take a moment to read through all of this just to kind of get it in your head. All right, let's go ahead and dig into a review of what slope is. Slope of a line or a linear function is when we take any 2 points and we find the difference between them. And then we have the change in our y values divided by the change of our x values. And sometimes we call this rise over 1. The slope is a constant change. When we were doing our arithmetic sequences, the slope was really our common difference. So it's the same concept that of this idea of constant change, common difference, constant change, same thing. The slope and the common difference are really the same thing. Let's talk about some notation here. In our definition, we've got this x1, y1, or x sub 1, y sub 1, and then our x sub 2, y sub 2 right here. All that simply means is the x from the first point, the y from the first point, the x from the second point, the y from the second point. And I'll let you in on a small secret. It actually doesn't matter which point is point 1 and point 2. Looking at our points here, that means that our first point, this would be x1 in our formula, this would be y1 in our formula, x2, and y2. So just remember that's all that notation means. The key formula that we want to use is this one right here when we're using 2 points. This idea that the y's always have to be in the numerator, in the top of the fraction, the x's have to be in the denominator. So always just remember the y's rise to the top of your fraction. Y's rise to the top of your fraction. We can see that our y2 is 1, so I'm going to write that down. We're going to subtract our y1. I'm going to actually use the letter m just so we remember this is slope. M, not sure where it came from. I have heard once before that the m, it's like the slope of a mountain, and it actually came from a French mathematician where the French word for slope starts with an m. I don't know if that's true or not. So anyways, our first y value was 1. We're going to subtract -3. Now you could just make that a +3 right away. Then our second point has an x value of -6 minus, it's always minus, 2 in this case. I'm going to do some simplification here, so we'll get 1 plus 3 over -6 minus 2. That'll be 4 over -8. So my slope for whatever equation this would be, or the slope between these 2 points, would be -1 over 2. Let's do number 2. I'm going to pick up the pace this time. Our slope is going to equal our second y value, that's the 3, minus our first y value, which is the 7. Our second x value is the 8, minus our first x value is the 4. I've got -4 over 4, so this time our slope is -1. I'm going to pause it here. I'd like you to take a moment, try number 3 on your own. Watch out for those negatives, so use a calculator if you need to, and let's see if you can get the right answer. The slope between these 2 points would be 0, so hopefully that's the answer you received. We'll talk later about what slopes actually mean, but for this lesson, we're really just focusing on how do we find them.